Doflamingo, one of the GOATs of One Piece. Such a GOAT, he falls in my top 5 villains of all time, along with Shredder, Dr. Doom, Darth Vader, and Eggman. No, I'm not gonna cap to you. There's a plethora of videos out there that go through this man's entire life story and all that. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna list off all the menace things that this man has done, because he's done some things that are so crazy, you just need to hear about it. So One Piece fan or not, watch. At the literal age of 10, this man took the blick to his father's head and pulled the trigger. You know what I was doing when I was 10? I was playing with Legos. Later on in life, he blicked his brother too. I guess one biological family member wasn't enough, huh? This man Dofi completely used Law, and I mean completely. When Law was younger, Doflamingo kinda took him in under his wing, but it was all just cap. He was really only doing it for his own benefit. He even said so. He didn't actually care about bro, and every time they fight, you can see the genuine fear in Law's heart. So bro blicked his entire family. Well, guess what? He just made another one. And this time, they were a crime family. They were rolling deep like the mo freaking Italian mob. Goodfellas! In Marineford, even though it turns out Gecko Maria was alive, Doflamingo tried to kill him, I guess. We didn't really see it on screen. But point is, he attempted it. Not that anybody can really be mad at that. I mean, do you like Gecko Maria? I literally hate that dude. Top 5 worst One Piece characters. This man rolled up to Dressrosa, and for those of you that don't watch One Piece, Dressrosa is arguably one of the most peaceful islands with civilization on it. This man rolled up to the king while he was sleeping, snuck through the window, and said, "Hey yo Brody, I want this island now." Not that Doflamingo really cared though. His power is strings, so he has this ability where he can stick a string into somebody and control them like a puppet on some Pinocchio stuff. So guess what he did? He stuck a string into the king, sent that boy out on the town, and made him murder everybody. I'm talking innocent children. But bro's kill streak wasn't high enough, I guess, so he stuck some strings into the guards of Dressrosa and made them murk the entire village. He literally set Dressrosa on fire. And on top of this all the residents of Dressrosa think that the king is just doing this because he's being controlled by string and it's so thin that they can't see it or know what's going on. So they're just convinced the king just switched up on them. It's crazy. And if you think the level of disrespect is over, that's far from the truth. You see, Buddy literally comes down to the town after this, says to all the civilians, "Yo, don't worry, it's me, Doflamingo. I got you, I'll be your new king." These idiots, for some reason, not sure why, believe him. And at this point, just to add insult to injury, remember when I mentioned Doflamingo made a new crime family? One of these members is a little girl named Sugar, and her ability is the fact that she has the power to turn people into toys. And guess what? Doflamingo just starts turning people into toys. I know what you're probably thinking. The toy thing doesn't sound that menacing, and to be fair, I thought the exact same thing. But trust me, it gets bad. Number 1, just imagine being turned into a teddy bear, bruh. What can you do? You're just screwed. Number 2, when Sugar turns you into a toy, all memory of you gets lost. You practically cease to exist. So that means these toys are walking around.
What more do you want from me?
Around, seeing their wives with new dudes, and seeing their kids grow up motherless, fatherless, because they forget that the person exists. And to add salt into the wound, these people cannot even control their toy bodies. The only thing they can do is think in their mind. They are 100% aware of what's going on, and they know what's going on, but they can't say anything, and they can't do anything. This man Doflamingo forced Viola to join his crime family. And for those of you that don't know who she is a member of the Royal Dressrosa family. So Doflamingo takes over Dressrosa and he starts producing Smile Fruit. Now for those of you that don't watch One Piece, Smile Fruit are a jiggity-jaggedy dollar store version of devil fruit that basically turn you into some crusty, dusty animal, or they make you laugh for the rest of your life. Like uncontrollably on some Joker stuff. But of course, Dofi's a menace. He's not gonna make these himself. So, he gets some people to become slaves and do it for him. One of the things that makes Doflamingo so terrifying too, outside of his power and his personality, is the fact that he's genuinely just a smart guy. Like, this guy Law tried to blackmail him and tell him to tell everybody that he's not a warlord anymore, and this man Doflamingo used clout to his advantage. He no cap put in the papers that he wasn't a warlord anymore, baited Law to come to Dressrosa, and then in the next newspaper issue, he put that he was a warlord, and that was just cap. Like, this guy's a genius. And now that he caught Law slipping, he proceeds to beat the brakes off of this man. Now this next scene, I want to take a minute to talk about. Luffy and the others are talking about their plan, and then out of nowhere, this man Law comes flying through the sky, crashing into the ground. Now, this is crazy to me, and is honestly one of probably my top 5 scenes in One Piece in general. And it's simply because Oda almost always, when something major happens in the show, there's almost always a build-up to it. But this genuinely caught me by surprise. I mean, we seen Doflamingo and Law boxing, but that was like way across on the other side of Dressrosa. I don't even know how they got there, but they did. This man Doflamingo comes flying down. It plays his theme, one of the absolute most menacing themes I've ever heard. He walks up with the flintlock pistol, pulls out the blick, and shoots this man Law multiple times on the ground, so disrespectfully. And Doflamingo shoots Law outside of the Coliseum, which is a good point to bring up. The Coliseum. This man literally has prisoners locked up in the Coliseum, and they're just not allowed to escape. It's either you fight in the Coliseum or die. This is potentially just the most evil thing on the list. After all this man puts up a bird cage around Dressrosa. Now, I know what you're thinking. A bird cage? What are you talking about? Now, I previously mentioned that this man's ability is string. He puts up tons of string around Dressrosa in the shape of a bird cage and starts pulling the string into the middle, crushing everything. Keep in mind, everybody is still in Dressrosa. Men, women, children, everybody's still there. Nobody left or anything. Everybody's still there. This man is literally going to kill every single person in Dressrosa. With this entire time, I haven't even brought up Bellamy. And I'm not really going to go through the story because it's pretty long. But Doflamingo manipulated Bellamy in the worst way possible. He looked up to him like an idol, and Doflamingo didn't care, ordered this man to die. It's a long story. Just watch One Piece if you truthfully want to know. If you do watch One Piece, you know why it's part of this list. So moving on to the final fight with Luffy, Law, and Doflamingo. Of course nothing's going to be smooth sailing with this guy. And guess what he does? Chops off Law's arm. I know I've mentioned the fact that Doflamingo is a good manipulator multiple times, but I'm going to give it its own spot on this list because through the entire fight, Doflamingo is in Luffy and Law's head. Like, he literally got Law breaking character, bro. I never seen him act like this before. In the fight, Law stabs Doflamingo with a gamma knife. You know, like the stuff that turned Bruce Banner into the Hulk. And this man, Doflamingo, takes some string, connects his organs and guts and intestines back together with string. He connects them back with string and continues fighting like nothing happened. And also to add, this is at pretty much the beginning of the fight. So he's going like the majority of the fight with just spilled intestines. It took Luffy 2 rounds of Gear 4 to beat Doflamingo. Now, a lot of people out there will argue that Luffy has the best durability in One Piece, and it's definitely a solid argument, but I gotta give it to Doflamingo. This man fought Law with spilled intestines held up by string, and then fights Luffy Gear 4 twice. Of course he does end up getting beaten by Luffy. But I want to mention, every single thing that I just talked about, this man Dofi did with a smile on his face. And to close out this video, the final menacing act of this man, he went to impel down, and he's laughing. For those of you that, once again, don't watch One Piece, Impel Down is the worst prison in One Piece, and it'd be the worst prison in the world too. There's a room made out of lava. There's a room made out of spikes with poisonous spiders. There's a room that's just literal snow with wolves walking around. It's a prison made for torture, and this guy's laughing there. Now that's a lot of devious behavior, if you ask me. I'm sure there's a lot of things I missed, to be honest, because this guy just continuously does bad things. But the video has to end at some point, so don't hate me if I missed your favorite Doflamingo moment, man. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry. But nonetheless, Dofi is definitely a problem, and I wouldn't mess with him personally. You got me messed up. But anyways, until next time, thanks for watching. You know what they do. See y'all later.